Thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner here on YouTube. And don't forget to leave us a like and a comment.
And you can share with a friend if you enjoy it and subscribe so you're notified of new videos.
Thanks and enjoy the show.
Every house has some kind of problem. This week we'll show you the solution to some of the more common ones.
Today's Homeowner with Danny Lipford, the voice of home improvement, with projects, tips, and ideas to help you improve your home.
They say that the perfect house has never been built. And fact is, almost every home has some kind of problem that may be nagging you every single day. Now that may be waiting for the hot water at your bathroom vanity, or maybe your clothes dryer is drying a little slower than it used to, or if you have a multi-story home, you may be tired of carrying those groceries upstairs and carrying the trash downstairs. You know, part of home improvement is finding solutions to these kind of nagging problems, and on this week's show, we've got a number of solutions for all of those problems and a few more. Stay with us. This house is about 15 years old. By now, the homeowners know which systems in the house are working and which ones may be a bit deficient. Now, even small problems can grow into big aggravating problems if you're dealing with them every single day. Good example of that is a story these homeowners told us about their little small laundry room and how slow their clothes dryer is in drying clothes now. It used to take only 45 minutes, now it takes close to 2 hours to dry a load of clothes. Now they went and bought a brand new dryer, which helped a lot, but they even realized then even it started slowing down the time to dry the clothes. So obviously the problem is not the dryer, but most likely the dryer vent that goes from the dryer to the outside. What happens is over the years the accumulation of lint inside the vent restricts the size of the pipe, so it prevents the dryer from exhausting all of that moisture to the outside in a timely fashion. So the first step in correcting this problem is to clean all of that lint out of the dryer vent. If your dryer vents to an exterior wall, the easiest way to access the vent may be by removing the cover on the outside. Then you can use a brush just like this one, which is specifically designed for cleaning ductwork to remove the lint and dust that decrease the dryer's efficiency. When the dryers have to work harder, they tend to overheat, which often leads to fires. In fact, thousands every year. The risk of fire is even greater if the flexible vent hose attached to the dryer is flammable like this plastic one. It should be replaced with a flexible metal hose. Another factor that affects the efficiency of a clothes dryer is how long the dryer vent is and how many turns it has to take to make it to the outside. Now, in this particular home, the laundry room is located in the center of the floor plan of the home, so it's about 30 feet from here to an outside wall. Now, when this house was originally constructed, the builder decided to vent the dryer straight up into the attic, and that hasn't worked too well. It's not really that unusual to have a dryer that vents through an attic space. This is the metal vent pipe that comes up through the wall behind the dryer, and then at some point someone's attached a series of plastic elbows and pipe to route it back into the attic space, allowing not only the lint but also the moisture to dump into the attic space. That's not the way it should be done. Now, it's really a challenge in a situation like this because there's so much resistance when you're trying to exhaust that hot, moist air. With all the elbows, with the vertical rise, it's a wonder this dryer is working at all. The solution here is to install an inline booster fan. First, the plastic pipe has to be removed, and as Scott quickly discovers, it's loaded with lint, which combined with all the twists and turns in this thing was seriously handicapping the dryer downstairs. Not to mention that it was also dumping all this damp air and lint into the attic. It looks like this PVC pipe was nothing but a lint magnet. Not a good choice for a dryer vent. Now, the booster fan itself comes with a mounting bracket so that it can be attached almost anywhere. Here, Scott's screwing it into a piece of 2x6 lumber, which will then be attached to the attic floor next to the vent duct. Then the fan housing itself is sealed to the metal duct using foil tape for an airtight fit. Now, above the fan, more 4-inch duct extends straight up towards the roof so that Scott can locate his cutout. Now, to simplify the wiring, we're going to connect the fan to an extension cord and plug it right into an existing outlet in the attic. But with the cord unplugged, the ground, neutral, and hot wires are each secured to their designated spot on the wiring block. In a situation like this, it really pays to take your time and get everything just right before cutting anything, because you never want to cut any unnecessary holes in a roof. Scott starts with a pilot hole, then he opens it up to fit the metal duct using a reciprocating saw, cutting through the plywood, shingles, and everything at the same time. He pries up the edges of the shingles just above the opening so that when the duct is fished through the hole, the boot, which keeps the rain out of the vent, can tuck under them. Roofing cement and a few nails will keep the rain out of the attic. This inline booster fan was very easy to install, and it's a completely independent system. No need to run a wire from this fan down to your dryer, because here's how it actually works. When your dryer turns on, the air pressure switch on the booster fan will sense that air coming through the fan. It'll turn it on and help you to remove all of that hot, moist air out of your house. This should really solve this problem that the homeowners were having with the dryer taking so long to dry a load of clothes.
It's time for this week's simple solution from home repair expert Joe Truini.
Okay, I admit it, I hate cleaning glass. It's not that it's that difficult a job, but it's just time consuming, especially when you're faced with a light fixture like this that has 6 curved pieces of glass. I mean, who would design a piece like this? Obviously a guy that didn't have to come back and clean it. But I recently discovered a trick that works really well. First, remove the top of the fixture so you can gain access to the inside. Then pick up 2 foam brushes. These are 2-inch wide brushes, which are the perfect width for this particular light fixture. Get some glass cleaner and a paper towel. You can start by spraying a little cleaner on the foam brush, then reach inside the fixture and wipe the glass clean. Now this is an ammonia-based cleaner, so it evaporates pretty quickly. But even so, I like to come back with a dry brush and wipe off the excess. Now remember, when you do this, do the inside and the outside, and wait until the light bulb is cold. You don't want to reach in with the light bulb still hot, because you could actually burn your hand.
This week we're looking at a number of very common problems people have with their homes and offering a few solutions to take care of those problems. Now, we've already talked about a problem that homeowners had with a dryer that just was not drying the clothes quick enough. We solved that problem by installing an inline booster fan. Now, the second problem, if you have a set of stairs, you know that anytime you need something, it's not where you're standing and you're having to go up and down the stairs, hauling groceries upstairs and bringing trash downstairs, especially if your primary entrance to your home, like this one, is right off the garage and is on the lower level. Now, a dumbwaiter is a great solution to this problem. It's basically a miniature elevator that can bring groceries up, trash down, very convenient. But if you've ever priced one of these, boy, the factory-made dumbwaiters are very expensive. Here's a more reasonable option by using a garage door operator to actually construct a dumbwaiter. Now, basically what we have is the garage door operator down below mounted to the wall, then the track continues right on up to the next level, and we have a little wooden tray here that's been constructed and attached with different brackets to the bracket that should be carrying or moving the garage door itself. So with all of this in place, you push the button and away it goes. Now, instead of this dumbwaiter costing $3,000 or $4,000 like the manufactured ones do, this one only cost about $300. Now, you have to have the unique situation where you have a closet directly above another closet that's down below on the lower level. Here we had a little pantry in the kitchen and the closet directly below it in the basement. It worked out perfectly, and that'll save a lot of time running up and down the stairs with the groceries or trash. Now, it's very important if you have small children around your house or you have guests that have children, is to make sure you have a lock on the door both upstairs and downstairs. Now, you know, today's families are a lot more environmentally conscious than those in the past, and that means more than one garbage can usually in a kitchen for all the recyclables. Now, to save time in running the recyclable goods up and down the dumbwaiter, we're going to try something we've never tried before, and that's to kind of use the concept of a laundry chute to move those recycled goods from this level downstairs. Now we're going to do that by cutting a couple holes in this cabinet, and there's another closet downstairs, and we're going to position a couple pipes to act as that recycled chute that'll allow you to deposit those recycled goods directly into containers below. I hope it works. The first step is clearing out the downstairs closet. We hope to keep as many of the shelves as possible for storage space, but Scott's helper Tim is taking everything out of the closet so that we'll have plenty of room to work. Now we're kind of making this up as we go, so we want to have plenty of room to change the plan if needed. Meanwhile, upstairs, Scott is busy cleaning out and laying out the locations for the two chutes. Now this is important because we have to line up holes on two different floors so that they can be connected by the pipes. The first hole is a small pilot hole, followed by a slightly larger one so that we can see what obstacles might be in our way between the floors. Hey, we're in luck because it's a straight shot with no joist or framing to work around. Now Scott can begin cutting a larger hole to the finished size for the second chute. Directly below it, he marks and begins cutting another hole in the drywall ceiling of the closet. With the mystery of where it will come out resolved, the other holes can be cut to size and the closet ceiling opened further to accept the two pipes. The closet shelves don't have to be removed, but they will require some modification. Finally, we're ready for the pipe. This is the same metal duct material we used on the booster fan. The short sections work real well in a tight spot and can be joined together quickly with the foil tape. On the top side, the pipes are secured and the holes are covered with a little trap door that we're rigging up to lift up when the cabinet door opens. Finally, it's time for a test run. These are the kind of things the homeowners plan on recycling. Little newspaper, aluminum, and plastic bottles. Every household has plenty of these items. Now, what we plan on doing, the aluminum here, plastic here, and we could roll our newspapers up like this and also use another chute for those, but we have this little roll-out tray on these cabinets that have been here since the cabinets were built, and we can throw it right in there, and once the bag gets full, put it in the dumbwaiter, and it'll go right downstairs. Hey, speaking of downstairs, let's see where these chutes end up. With this setup, you're able to come right downstairs, open the closet door, and take your recyclables to be recycled. Hey, we're solving a lot of problems on this week's show. And next, we're going to look at a problem that a lot of people have at their house, having to wait so long for hot water at their bathroom vanity. Right after this.
Let's join Danny at the Home Center to check out this week's best new product.
Whether you're hauling a load of supplies from the home center, helping a friend move, or trying to hang up tools in the garage, there are dozens of times you need a quick and easy way to secure something. A good length of rope or maybe some bungee cords will work, but the problem is the rope is often hard to untie and may unravel and weaken over time, and the metal hooks on bungee cords can sometimes scratch surfaces. Now, this is a cool solution. It's called Quick Twist, and it can be used anywhere you would use a rope or a bungee cord, but with much less hassle. To secure it, you simply twist the ends together instead of tying them as you would a rope. Quick Twist is rated to hold up to 100 pounds, but the way you twist it will determine how well it holds. So the manufacturer recommends 3 full twists very close together. If one of these won't span the distance you need to cover, you can simply remove the end cap and thread the ends together to double or triple the length. I can think of tons of uses for this thing, and for less than $6, I think I need one in my truck. This week we're looking at a number of very common problems that people have with their homes and offering up a few solutions. Now, one problem I hear about from a lot of homeowners is having to wait so long for hot water at their bath vanity. Now, this can be very annoying because some people have to wait up to a minute before they even feel hot water. It can also be a tremendous waste of water itself, up to 50 gallons per day. Now, one solution to this problem is to install a hot water recirculation pump. The pump itself is installed at the water heater in the line that carries hot water to the rest of the house. The unit is powered by a 110-volt circuit, and it only uses about 25 watts of electricity. But what makes the system work is the thermal valve that's installed under the vanity the greatest distance from the water heater. The valve is positioned between the hot and cold water line. When the water in the hot line cools off, this valve senses the change and opens, allowing the pump to force the cold water out of the hot line and over into the cold line. When true hot water reaches the valve, it closes again, so you can always have hot water at the tap. The thing I like about this system is it really is very, very simple. You have the valve underneath the sink, and then you have the recirculating pump on the water heater itself, and that's about all there is to it. But I would still suggest having a master plumber install this for you so that you can be sure that it's working the way it should. Now, another problem a lot of homeowners have is not enough hot water, especially if you have a large tub or someone that really likes the long shower. Now, whether it's a gas water heater or an electric water heater, most of the time the problem is that the water heater has not been maintained properly. One of the biggest problems with water heaters is sediment. Minerals and other particles settle to the bottom of the tank, reducing its efficiency, capacity, and lifespan. Now, draining the tank regularly, say once a year or so, will remove the sediment, making it easier for the water heater to do its job. To prevent overheating, you'll want to turn off the electricity or gas supply before you begin this process. The average life expectancy of a traditional water heater is around 8 to 12 years, but if you properly maintain it, I've seen them last up to 20 years. But either way, eventually they're going to wear out and you're going to have to replace it. When you're faced with having to replace a water heater, there is another option. This is a tankless water heater, and it replaced a traditional water heater in this home just recently, and they're fairly easy to retrofit in almost any home. But here's the big difference between these two types of systems. Now, a traditional water heater will have a large tank. In the tank will be water, and the water heater has to work 24 hours a day to keep it at a comfortable temperature. With an on-demand inline water heater like this, it only heats the water as you need it. So when you turn the valve on at your bathroom vanity or in the shower, it starts going to work, and as soon as you cut it off, it stops working. So you can see where it saved you a lot of money over the years. And the basic setup of this allows you to install it on the outside wall instead of inside, saving a lot of closet space. And it's powered by natural gas in this case. There are also models available in propane. Then you have a need for a little bit of electrical work inside the unit in order to control everything. And then this one even has a little switch to turn everything off if needed. Then you have cold water coming in on this side, going through the unit, and coming out hot water here going into the house. So it only heats it when you need it, and it's going to cost a little bit more initially, but it'll save you a lot of money down the road.
Let's head outside for Around the Yard with lawn and garden expert Tricia Craven-Worley.
I live in Southern California where it practically never rains, and you undoubtedly have had some problems with drought. Seems to be happening a lot more frequently these days. But you know, there are some ways that you can cope with drought, and one has to do with the lawn. Now, when you go to cut your grass, if you raise your blade about 2 inches up, then when you cut it, the blades will remain a little bit longer, and that's going to retain some of the moisture. Also, something else I talk about all the time is mulching. Well, this is when it's really very important because the mulch is going to help keep the roots cool, and again, it will help retain the moisture. Now, something else, when you're walking around your garden and you look at some of your flowers and maybe their heads are drooping a little bit, whatever you do, don't fertilize them. That will cause them to go into stress. Actually, they're saving their energy, kind of like suspended animation. And also, regarding your trees, just don't even think about pruning them. That will also send them into shock. If there's a dead limb, take care of it. Other than that, let everything go until it rains again.
It's not uncommon for a typical home to have a few little problems, and we've been able to show you some of the solutions for some of the more common problems. And the ones we've looked at are the ones that can be so aggravating because you have to face them every single day. Though a poorly performing dryer is annoying, the solution may be as simple as cleaning the vent and lint screen, or you may have to add a little horsepower to the booster fan as we did. By applying a little engineering, we cut down on all those trips up and down the stairs with a homemade dumbwaiter and our recycle tubes. Those are sure to be a hit with the kids. And the wait for hot water is over thanks to our recirculation pump, not to mention the water and energy we'll save. Some of these ideas used a lot of creativity with our recycled chute and our dumbwaiter. Others, we had to dig down a little bit online and do a little research to solve the problem with our dryer vent. But all of these worked out so well, but we've only hit the tip of the iceberg. Hey, I hope we see you next week.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner. And don't forget to comment, like, and hit the bell icon so that we can notify you when new videos are posted.
And don't go anywhere, click around and continue the home improving fun.